Go.
Yeah, the podcast, What's the Odds, with Steve Renazizi, is this moment coming to you on January, I think it's the 13th. Yeah, I don't know when you're going to listen to it, but today it's January 13th. We're back to our normal Wednesday. I'm the host, Steve Renazizi. I'm joined by the full crew, Brenton, Lucas, and Emma. It's been a crazy week for a lot of reasons. Last week we did it on a Thursday, so we got to talk a little bit about the Capitol shit because it just happened the day before, but we didn't really get the full picture till now. People, when I said last week how crazy it was, I thought only one protester had died. Now you have like 2 or 3 of the Capitol Police people that have passed away from this. One guy, I believe, killed himself based on what happened last week. They said, they're saying it's a direct result of that. And, all we have to go on is the fact that I think it's going to get crazier. I think it's going to get – we talked hypothetically last week about Trump getting banned from Twitter. And then probably before the podcast was put up, it was already done.
Yeah.
Happened already.
Yeah.
Which, I said, I was like, it's sort of I didn't think it was going to happen because to me, I'm like, it's First Amendment rights, but it's not. They're a private company. But then I just thought, I'm like, they're not going to take the step of banning him for life. And they apparently have done it. Every platform but YouTube's done it. So go to YouTube if you still want your Trump shit, I guess. That's the only place you can go.
Steve, YouTube banned him today.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they took that.
It should be noted that Pornhub tweeted out that he's also banned from that platform.
Banned as a user or banned from having
banned from uploading?
Wait a minute. Time out. What if
has he uploaded before?
Yeah. Hold on. How many uploads, number one, has the real DJ Trump number 45 uploaded? Let's just say hypothetically that might be his name. And also, what if someone was making spent thousands of dollars making a spoof Trump porn video and now they don't have a platform to upload it to? What if I was going to play Donald Trump can I play him in a spoof porn? I'm like, you're going to get on my load, the biggest load, all the load. And
I don't think they banned parodies. I don't think they banned parodies, just the actual
parodies
man.
Are fine, just the actual Donald Trump.
Emma, we didn't think they were going to ban Trump from Twitter last week. Do you know? It's a crazy fucking world.
I don't like the man, but I don't know if that's proper either. I'm very torn on this subject. I
have never in my life wanted to make a parody porn more than I do right now, just to see if we can push the boundaries.
I mean, you should definitely do that.
Push the boundaries.
Push the boundaries.
pound the pusheries.
Pound the boundaries.
Yeah, look, again, I assume most people on this, I'm not going to talk for everybody, but I'm a free speech guy. So it bothers me when someone gets banned from something for anything. I think what they're trying to do is just stomp out a fire that they've created and watched, and now the cops are here. Everybody's at the beach and they're trying to get the fucking bonfire put out and no one can do it. And so they're, it's not going to, he can't be silenced in a way.
They did it to save their own asses at the end of the day.
Everybody is finding their way to save face now.
They're legally liable if he was allowed to stay on Twitter and then incited violence and more people died. And once you go to courts, all of a sudden Twitter is going to get pulled in and Jack's going to have to pay money. So they did it to cover their own ass. Right or wrong.
What a wild world we live in.
I mean, beyond that, Elon Musk is the richest person in the world. Like, he took over this week. Like, I didn't even think that was close. And now he just tweeted
7 hours ago, legalize comedy. Elon Musk is on our side. So whatever you're going to say next, I hope it's a nice thing.
No, I'm not saying, I had no idea. Okay. Like, if you told me, I thought, if you asked me last week, the most valuable American companies, I'm going to go number one, Apple, right? And then I thought we were going to put like Facebook top 3. I didn't think anything came close. Well, Amazon, Facebook, Apple,
Amazon.
I didn't think anything came close to top 3. And I didn't realize how much Tesla and Elon Musk
and
was
SpaceX,
now worth.
Right?
Well, I think most of it is Tesla. Most of it is
but also his
SpaceX.
like Starlink internet stuff started this week. Like there are communities getting his like universal internet packages that he's trying to set
really?
up. The Starlink, yeah, it started. It's set up in certain places, like places that have never had internet, like got internet in the past week or so because of Elon.
I didn't
Musk.
think anywhere in the world didn't have internet. That wasn't a joke.
I saw an Ask Reddit thread or an AMA thread on Reddit from someone that was like, "We've never had internet, and we just got Elon Musk's Starnet. Ask me anything." And I was like, "Wow, you learned the internet fast."
I didn't think any place besides my grandparents' lake house didn't have internet. That's the only place in the world I thought was
tribes
impossible.
that have had no human contact, they have internet, Steve. It's
Now they
dial-up,
do.
but they still have internet.
Well, it was shocking to me. That's my point. I thought Facebook was just going to be this entity that, like, we were going to be, and now, between Zuckerberg and all the, like, they have to regulate and they're trying to regulate and police themselves. It's never going to work. And the stand that they've taken now by taking down Trump shit, really is like, it's they're trying to close the barn door after the horses are fucking. It's over. What are you doing now? It's like there's 7 days left. I know going forward, he's going to try to run again, perhaps. Excuse me. Breakfast, everyone. But it's not going to be a thing where you're never going to silence the guy. That guy's never going to be silenced, ever. Never. He's going to find some avenue to get his fucking point across. He's not a play it from the sidelines kind of guy. I'll just sit there like the rest of the presidents and be quiet. He will find a way to have his voice heard. So it's been nuts, and I think they're going to try to impeach him. I think they're going through the fucking process again, and
it's going on as we're recording this.
Yeah,
and I say, bring it on. Let it get more wild. Let's see. I don't think we've seen how wild this thing's going to get yet. Does that make sense?
No,
I think
absolutely.
There's more to come.
We're at the beginning of this. I think
we might be, and that's the thing. It's like we always think we're like, oh, we made it through. Like you'll see in like a year from now, Biden give a speech about like how we made it through the virus together. We made it through. And it's like, yeah, no, we didn't. Not all of us. A lot of us died. And because we didn't really know what we were doing. And we argued and we fought and we wasted time. We couldn't get the fucking vaccine out fast enough. I mean, they got it done in record time, and we can't figure out. We are Daniel Jones right now. We just ran 80 yards at 100 miles an hour. We are 17 yards from the end zone, and we are tripping over our own feet trying to get these fucking needles in people's arms. Literally, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
But we'll still look back and go, you know what? We did it, guys. We did it together. We did it. The only way we could have done it is if we stuck together, which didn't happen. None of the stuff they said.
We are the opposite of together right now.
We couldn't make it 2 weeks.
This is worst case scenario. This is how the rollout, like if you painted like different scenarios of how this is worst case scenario. But we will still just change, history a little bit in a year from now. Everyone's going to feel like we did it together and the power of America and how mighty we are. And that's great. It's like, I don't know. I guess 43 is the age I've realized that I'm like, oh, I am so much an adult now that the people that I even into my 40s thought were doing the best job they could for us are way more incompetent than I am. And I am dumb. It's truly a dumb person, a dumb human being.
Don't talk about my friend Steve like that.
I'll tell you this, Emma. Here's how dumb I am. I spent like an hour last night trying to research. So here's my question, right? So if I got the vaccine, okay?
Uh-huh.
Right? Say, Emma, you had coronavirus, right?
Uh-huh.
And you gave it to, you shook my hand and the coronavirus on your hand got on my hand. Could I, even though I have the vaccine, then transmit the coronavirus to somebody else?
They're saying yes.
Yes, they're saying yes, but I'm thinking, so I spent but meanwhile.
But they're talking out of their mouths and their assholes.
Yes. So what I realized was I'm just a surface. If you put it on a surface, it's going to go. But like I won't get coronavirus and then give it to somebody else because I have the vaccine. Does that make sense? Like I won't from the handshake get the coronavirus in my system and then have it sneeze onto somebody else.
They're saying even if you do get the vaccine and you do both doses and you do it all right, you still have to like wear a mask and socially distant because they're not entirely sure that the vaccine actually stops spreading.
That was my original question.
There's a lot of like yes and no's out there, and there's no actual information, which is why it's such a clusterfuck.
Because I'm like, as soon as you get vaccinated, you should get a T-shirt that said "vaccinated." You go, like, it's like you're walking around, you're like, I'm good, so don't fuck with me. I'm not.
I had it. I'm
not
immune.
gonna give it to you.
I'm gonna lick every doorknob between here and Los Angeles while I'm driving.
Oh my God, Emma. By the way, to all the comments out there, you filthy fucking animals about how beautiful Emma. Yeah, we know, Emma.
Thank you.
Okay? Yeah, I know. Thank you, but enough's enough. And I'm sure the licking the doorknobs comments just gonna get these fucking savages.
They're all gonna be like, "Yeah, come lick my doorknob."
Exactly. I live in Omaha. Come suck this doorknob. You fucking. I hate you. But thank you very much for listening, and please tell some other people to like and subscribe to the podcast as well.
Thanks for defending me, Steve. I appreciate it.
I am. I feel like I just look, I don't read the comments.
Into what would happen if Steve had a daughter.
Baby.
Well, that's what it. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a close thing. Like between the 9/11 comments and how everyone.
You don't touch your doorknob.
Yeah, how everyone wants to eat Emma's butthole. It's like I don't really want to do this show anymore. Hello. It's like
I don't know. Maybe we should pivot our topics to address those people. Maybe we'll get more views.
I don't know, Emma. We should get more specific. I'm telling you, Tripoli did it with conspiracy theories. We can do it with buttholes and 9/11 shit. It's like I don't know what you want from me. Anyway, look. Here's the deal, guys. It's been a crazy week. It's also been a rough week for some of us. Especially the Comedy Store. We lost a huge member of our family, and I'm sure many of podcasts out there have spoken about Jeff before. Jeff Scott is who I'm referring to, the piano player from the Comedy Store. He's the Comedy Store now. You realize with everything going on, podcasts and social media, it's become what its name would imply. It's become truly world famous, especially for people who have never been there. There are, so many people that feel like they know the store through all the stories that we've told on various different places. So much like they know it, like the back of their hand. They know they've never been there, but they know all the hallways. They feel it. And Jeff Scott was a part of that. And he was, for lack of a better, reference, he was the heartbeat of the Comedy Store. He was there every single night when he could be, and he would play the piano, and he would give you a hug, and he would offer a smile, and he would laugh at your jokes, even if they weren't ready to be laughed at. And I met him 20 years ago when I didn't know anybody when I got to the Comedy Store. And that was, you've heard me say before, a really scary place, especially when you first get there. I'm sure you guys felt the same way. And to have a friendly face like Jeff Scott, to be there, to say it's going to be okay, not necessarily to say you're going to be fine, everything's going to be easy, I got you, I'm going to take care of you, but just to say, I'm here every single day, and I'm here to tell you that you're going to be here again tomorrow, and whatever you feel today will be better tomorrow. Hopefully, it may not, but it might be. And he had this energy about him. I mean, it's common knowledge he fought a debilitating disease for as long as I've known him. He had HIV, and he never used that as a thing where he was like, I'm a crutch in any way of any sort. I never could fulfill my dreams because of this. It was just like he was living what his dream was to be, but doing what he was doing, performing every single night, being around inspiring artists, having the freedom to be who he wanted to be. And I'm going to miss him. That's as far as people that are there every single day, that's a true staple of the Comedy Store. And he passed away suddenly this past weekend. it just I guess I think I read someone, I can't remember who it was, but someone say for someone who had a grave disease for 20 years, it's still shocking to find out that they're gone. And that's how I felt when I got the news. You guys had texted me the late, I think it was Sunday night, and I didn't get it till the morning. And this is not as eloquent as I'd like it to be, of course. And we did a little Zoom call last night where we got together, some Comedy Store family, and shared some stories and talked. And it was first of all, it was great to see everyone. I mean, you guys I see every week, but it was great to see everyone else besides you guys. You guys, I was like, oh, if it was just going to be you guys, I would have left. But it was nice to see a lot of faces I haven't seen in a while. And beyond that, we were just sharing great Jeff Scott stories. And the only one I mean, like, again, he was a beautiful member of my life for so many reasons. I smoked so many joints with him. My wife loves Halloween, and I didn't think anyone in the world loved Halloween as much as my wife until I met Jeff Scott. He loved Halloween. I mean, to him, it was like gay Super Bowl. He got to dress up into whatever he wanted to do and prance around, and he could make it as eclectic as he wanted to be, or as scary, or as ghoulish, or as outlandish, whatever it was. And every year we'd always work on it. And we would always meet Jeff down at the parade down in West Hollywood. And it was, sometimes we didn't even plan on meeting him, but like every year it seemed like we'd go down there, and out of the sea of hundreds of thousands of people all dressed up, we'd always run into Jeff Scott. And he was always a little bit tooted up, as Jeff Scott would be, a little lit, a little sauced, a little this, a little that. And it was great because you would see him outside, and it was amazing. He got along with everyone. He got along with my wife. He made everyone feel welcome. But he had a side to him that was a bit of a bitch. He was a bit of a queen. He was a bit of a cunt. He would just, for some reason, one day you'd walk in, and like I said, I painted a picture before. He was a spirit. You wanted to see him. But sometimes he'd show up at the Comedy Store, and for whatever fucking reason, it could have been the AIDS. He would just be in a bad fucking mood. He would be in like a cunt mood. So you never knew. But one time I was driving to the Comedy Store, and this is he used to walk when he was going to have a couple drinks, and I'm driving to the Comedy Store from my apartment in West Hollywood, and I'm driving, making left onto Fairfax, and he's crossing the street. And as I'm going to make the left, I see Jeff in the middle of the crosswalk, right? And I flick my lights at him, right? And I honk the horn, and I go, ah, like this. I stick my hand in the window, right? And he stops like that. And then he keeps walking, and I keep going. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm just kidding around. I'm like, I was pretending like I was going to hit him, like the way people do, like when you pretend you're going to hit someone with a car in the funny way. So I pulled over to the side, and I'm like yelling, Jeff, it's me, Steve. Come on, I'll give you a ride to the store. He just keeps walking, right? Oh, fuck. So I drive to the Comedy Store. I get there, and he comes in like 20 minutes later. I'm like, dude, what's up? I'm like, that was me. I was going to pretend I was going to hit you with my car. And he goes, how dare you? He goes, I've almost been hit 10 times in that fucking crosswalk, and I'm livid, and don't you ever talk to me, and fuck you, and fuck this, and da-da-da. I was like, whoa, holy shit. And I'm telling you, he didn't talk to me for like another day. The next day I came to cover booth. I was like, oh, hey, Jeff. Nothing. Silent. Cold treatment. The next day, cold treatment. Until like a couple days later, I'm just in the back smoking a joint, and he comes back and he sits down, and I hand him a joint. He smokes it. And we didn't really say too much. Just got a little high, a little giggly. And then later on, we're hanging out, we're smoking a joint again, and it was like it didn't even happen. It was like we just became friends again. And then he grabbed my cock, and we moved on with the rest of our lives. Literally, it was like my apology to him. I let him grab my cock. It was our thing. It was a thing that we did, and it made him happy. Okay. Now, I'm not bisexual. I'm not gay. I just don't mind having my cock grabbed. I don't. And so, not violently, obviously. This isn't prison style, but it didn't matter to me. It made Jeff happy. I knew it made him happy. Okay. And this is not a narcissistic thing. I got a great cock, and he liked to grab it. So I let him grab it, and it made everyone instantly feel better. I don't know how that whole story took a very strange turn at the end.
It was very Charles Dickensy at the end.
Did it really get like? And everyone
And
lived happily.
Loves grabbing his cock.
And yeah, I mean, and I loved I didn't grab his cock, but he did show me his own cock through the outline of his pants one time, and I was like, I think that was his way of being like, hey man, maybe I'll take this. I'll see if this can step one more step further. And I was like, that's a nice cock. I'm good. And then that was about it. Everything, never an issue. Beautiful. And I don't know if you guys ever had those like experiences with him where he would just turn into a bitch for no reason, but they were around, they were out there, and there was no rhyme or reason why. But it was part of who he was, and it made him who he was. No one at that place, no one, maybe Simone, but probably if you asked him, not even Simone, has ever been thrown a perfect game, been like the perfect, like what you would want a human being to be at all times. Nobody, no one. So those are the things that made Jeff who he was, and I will miss him. I mean, look, we can all say we're going to miss him. Everyone, I feel it. I feel it now. I'm looking at pictures. I see, all my Instagram feed is all pictures of him, and so you feel it now. But I think we will truly feel it when we get back to the store and when, he's not there, and the piano is different, and the introductions are different, and the vibe will be different, and it will go on, it will continue, but it will be different, and Jeff was the reason why. So I don't know if you guys want to add anything or talk about any of that. I don't know.
Well, yeah, man, you said it best. We were all door guys, and I think the kind of the game we'd all play every night was find Jeff Scott, because he knew all the hiding spots in that club.
For a person, again, a great piano player, but he was rarely there on time to play the person up because he had his own schedule. Like when the iPhone came around, it was a great, because we got to teach him how to, like, when he got one, how to set an alarm. Before that, I was a door guy too. I was the cover booth guy. I was like, I spent half my night either yelling out the booth like it's Mike Young, whatever, because Jeff wasn't there. Or it was like going to find Jeff is to be like, what do we do next? Like, I don't, like, I don't know who's goes in that. I'm the new guy here. You're supposed to be telling me what the hell's going on. So, that place. I mean, Mitzi went through 1,000 piano players before she found him. I think, that place and him were perfect for each other. What other venue on Sunset that was as popular as the Comedy Store, that literally people were dying to get into, and this is recently, and even when it wasn't popular, what other place on the Sunset Strip could you hear a live gay man playing ragtime music on a Saturday night, every fucking night, whether there was one person in the place or the place had a line wrapped around the door? They weren't going to ask him to play something different. It's so funny. I learned Freddie Soto fuck, dude. I'm glad we got to talk about it. Freddie Soto told me one time, because when I first started doing comedy in 2001 at the store, it was like, it was dead, bad, dead. Nobody was really around. So I'm working there and I'm hanging out, but Dublin's was the spot. Jay Davis and Ahmed started that place, Dublin's, which was a bar on Sunset. And they started a comedy night upstairs in this upstairs sort of like 200, you get probably 200 people in there, but they jammed it in there with low ceilings. It felt like a fucking gym. And Vince Vaughn was there every week, and it was fucking awesome. And that was the first place I ever heard, like, when they brought you up, they played a song, almost like you were a fucking athlete. And this was your walk-up music, like you were coming up to bat. Because all I'd ever gotten to that point was like whatever Jeff Scott fucking ragtime shit he was playing. And look, it was like, I didn't dream as a kid like to be a comedian and come up to fucking, toe tapping music. It was like you wanted fucking Jay-Z's fucking Empire State of Mind, And I was like, oh, fuck. I'm like, I want to do Dublin so bad. I used to think about the songs I would ask the fucking guy to play because I had a DJ. And if you fucked around, you talked to the DJ, he would play like another song. It was awesome. And I went back to the store and I go, dude, I was talking to Freddie Soto. I go, we got to get like music in here, dude. I'm like, we'll get people, like, if we get like music to have people come up, I'm like, we get a license for that. I'm like, we got to get, and Freddie just goes, no, dude. He goes, we don't need music. We have Jeff. Jeff plays the music he wants to play, the music that Mitzi wants him to play. And you know what we have? We've got funny fucking people. We don't need the music. We don't need the fucking the walk up, the hype, the this, the that. We've got some of the funniest motherfuckers in the planet Earth wandering these halls. So that's what we're selling here. We're not selling hype or a fucking, a tremendous fucking, a vibe. We're selling laughs and pure comedy. Unfiltered, whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find it here. And I was like, oh shit, yeah. It wasn't until then it made total sense. I was like, oh, it's not about like, getting the audience on your side by your walk up music. You just got to be fucking good at what you do. And all that other shit is just, it's dressing it up. But Jeff, in a way, was just, he was there to be the backdrop, to make things feel like the only constant every day. As much as the store changed, as much as the people that came in, the different comedians that came in and out, famous, unfamous, people that we'll never forget, that no one's ever heard of, and vice versa. People that everyone loves that we fucking can't stand. No matter who came through those doors, it was always Jeff that was there to introduce them, show them the ropes, explain to them how it works. I'm talking about comics. I'm talking about people that work there, everyone. He was our constant. He was our backdrop. Yeah. We do this podcast like we don't edit it at all. I wish we kind of did, because this is sloppy and I wish it was a little cleaner.
It's
but
real.
Yeah, I know.
Jeff used to comment on the YouTube videos. He loved.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even
get.
I know Brenton, like you made a really. I was gonna say you made a lovely post, and I was gonna let you talk about how he didn't give a fuck about sports. He didn't care about what we talked about.
Listening to a podcast that was in French, but it was us hosting it that he wanted to listen to it, and I actually cut off.
Sacre bleu.
I cut off a part that I'll just share for the podcast listeners, but let me pull up his message because it's. I did this for your sake, Steve. He had said on top of what I had posted, the message just before what I had started posting, he said, but Steve is still a cunt on the recent podcast.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, he would just listen because he loved us. He missed hearing us, seeing us, I think.
He was like the fun gay uncle that none of us ever had. And we got to see him every day. And going back to the music, there was one time where he did play something that wasn't his music. And it was hilarious. It was the Friday nights when there would be a bringer show in the original room before he would get to do his late show. And he would always play, and he would blast it, this CD of like this William Hung knockoff singing off key, basically like, just get the fuck out, and then blast the music. People would stay in and they'd be talking and he'd want to get the room turned over. So he'd play the worst songs and just get everybody to clear out.
Dude, I remember him. Like, there were comedians that truly, and I'm not going to name names, but truly relied on him to basically perform. There were several comedians that like he couldn't leave the room. And look, I'm not saying he didn't enjoy it. He loved it. He would always be game to fuck around at all times. But I remember like working the door and having some of these comedians come in sometimes and be like, what? Jeff's not here? What the fuck, man? How is he not fucking here? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe his AIDS is acting up tonight. You fucking asshole. It's like the man, he was more than just your fucking assistant. And that's, of course, me just thinking back on everything Jeff Scott related. I remember people would be upset that he would take nights off. I'm like, yeah, the guy's got fucking AIDS, so let's give him a break, will we?
Also, even if you don't have AIDS, you deserve to take a night off here and there.
Yeah, also there's that.
So, like, chill out.
Yeah. People without AIDS deserve days off too, and that's the point of this whole thing. Guys,
Hang on one second.
do you want...
Sorry. Rogue's destroying stuff because I'm not paying attention to her. I got to send her upstairs.
It's unbelievable.
On
He's
with
got
that.
no kids, right? I mean, I'm doing this thing in my garage. My wife right now is on a walk. The kids are doing schoolwork. It's like I got a fucking 10 plates spinning around right now, and this guy can't control one thing during 1 hour during the week. It's, I mean,
He's not as wise as you, Steve.
it's not that. It's just, it's how much he's very hyper focused on what he wants to focus on. And if it's not that, if it's not making gambling decisions on the weekend for fantasy implications or which Bill's going to be the best against, the Ravens this week, then it's just put on the back burner. He probably doesn't talk to the dog the entire rest of the week. And he's like, no, this is our hour that we'll hang out together. You can do the podcast with me.
She got into some shit and she's chewing stuff up, Steve. If she eats it, she's going to get diarrhea. I have a very
I get, no, I don't want
fragile
anyone.
dog.
Brenton, the last thing I want is for your dog to get diarrhea. Okay, I'd rather have civil unrest continue on this planet than have your dog get diarrhea. Do you understand? That's how much I care about the health of Rogue. Okay. Speaking of diarrhea, I have not had diarrhea. I've had regular bowel movements. I've complained about my stomach, but since I've been back in California, I've been eating much better, way less carbs, way less pizza, no more bagels for breakfast. I'm down a couple pounds, which feels better, but also my movements have been very regular and very normal. So that's, I mean, look, everybody wants updates on everything. Okay. You think I was going to lead with Doug Peterson getting fired? Did you think I was going to start with that? No. I want to talk about what I want to talk about first. Capitol unrest, the loss of our friend, and my bowel movements. And now we'll get to Doug Peterson. Okay? When I say, not when you say, when I say. I mean, we said it could happen. We said it could happen. And then all this talk about him saying he made those quarterback decisions for the draft pick. Well, you can watch the draft pick with the rest of us on the television on ESPN, Mr. Peterson. Congratulations. You're going to be a coordinator now. I mean,
Maybe.
He'll get a coordinator job if he wants one.
Well, that's the problem.
I don't
with
think
the
he
NFL.
walks right
They
into
just-
another head coaching job.
No. And his big problem was the same thing that Bill O'Brien had. He was quoted a couple of years ago after he won the Super Bowl saying, "I don't want to have to listen to anybody." And then he started making all of these decisions on his own and destroyed that team. That team should have been at least competitive and maybe won another Super Bowl for 5 years. And instead, within a year, they were terrible. He signs Carson Wentz to a huge deal. Then he forces the team to draft Jalen Hurts with a high draft pick. And then he benches that guy. The guy comes in, plays exciting, gets the team behind him. They're in a competitive game, and he goes, "Oh, I'm just going to sit this guy now and look at this guy." And it made no sense. And once you lose the locker room, the only thing you can do is fire the guy.
Well, now does that mean Carson Wentz is back on the Philadelphia Eagles? I mean,
Yeah,
as far as
They need to. It depends on who they bring in, but they need to aggressively try to dump him somewhere. And whoever does come in is going to have their work cut out for him because they're the second worst as far as the salary cap situation.
Are there odds on
whoever
coaches
comes in-
to get that job? Is anyone's
There's a few names floating around, but they're floating
Is
around.
Bill
with the
O'Brien in
same
there?
names. Bill O'Brien's not in there.
No,
He's not.
They're
Bill
most
O'Brien's
likely, they're most
Bill
likely going
O'Brien's
to
up
go
for the
with the
demo.
college guy. Bill O'Brien's up for a coordinator position.
Yeah.
Because they're losing.
or
their guy.
Sarkisian?
Mhm.
You think that? Wow, that's a move. I mean, he was a college coach. He put Penn State back together. Then he came in. He was an NFL coach / GM for what, 10 years?
Yep.
Something like that. And now he's going to go take an assistant job. I mean, granted, it's the biggest college out there and the best assistant job, but I mean, I don't know.
It's like being in the penalty box. He'll go down there for a few years, win 3-4 more championships, and then get a job somewhere in the NFL with a loser team that's dumb enough to keep hiring guys that lose.
Well, Philadelphia. Who do you want to hire from the NFL, college ranks? I mean, they tried it with Chip Kelly. I mean, they're going to go back to that well again. That doesn't make sense to me.
I would rather, if I was an NFL, owner, I would rather hire and take a shot on a college guy who's proven that he can win than just keep hiring the same 6 coaches that get fired every other year. Because those teams, they go nowhere. They just get stuck in the mud.
If I'm Eric
Bieniemy, take a chance. You might get lucky. You're probably going to end up firing the guy, but
if I'm Eric Bieniemy, right, and I'm going to have basically the choice of whatever job I want. Do you think I'm wrong in that estimation or no?
No, you're absolutely. He's the top candidate.
Then to me, that's the job I want. I want to go fix Carson Wentz.
No.
I want to go. Yeah, I want to.
No
I'm
way.
going to bring in a fucking defensive stud coordinator. I'm going to bring in
You can't do anything though. The problem with that is he's coming
What do you
in
mean?
at the wrong time. They have no money. He can't build the team he wants because they have no money.
Well, they could build it with draft
problems than
picks.
just-
They've got to look, dude. You've got Carson Wentz, who again, I mean, I understand there was a problem with the coach, but the guy hasn't he's not like Tom Brady where he's gotten older and lost something, or he hasn't had a major injury. Everything going on with him is between fucking the ears.
Yeah.
So athletically, he is still who he was, and I'm not saying he's going to be exactly the guy you paid to have the first time around, but you can get him back to a certain level where you look. It's not a fucking division where you need Aaron Rodgers to win the division. Everyone else is barely surviving in this division. So if you can get him to play the way he has the potential to play, why not? You've got a good core. You got him. You got a good offensive line. Fletcher Cox is on the defensive side. You're going to get helps in the places that everyone else gets help.
The big reason was the offensive line. That's why Carson Wentz was getting hit every play and holding on to the ball too long. He had no time. So they have a lot of work. That team has major issues. The defense is a little bit better off, but
You're also not going to walk into a fucking job with that's perfect and ready to go. So you're going to have some work to do.
No,
I'm not saying he's not going to have some work to do.
I guess it just depends on what his personal preference is. Does he want to come into a situation where he's going to have a lot of work and have to fix something, or does he want to go somewhere that has a little bit more draft stock and is getting one of the star young quarterbacks that he can develop?
You want to go to Miami? Or, not Miami, but you want to go to look, where's an interesting place? You want to go to San Diego. I don't know if Anthony Lynn's going to keep his job, but
I would go to the Chargers in a heartbeat. That team is built to
You got a
win
great
right
quarterback.
now.
Yes.
So you can come in and be this hero that gets them over the top.
And you can build from a young quarterback your own way. That's another, not another, but I'm just saying, like, if you're looking for a quarterback situation, I'd rather work with Carson Wentz than have to go to unless you're going to get homeboy. What's his name? Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina is like, we'll hire whatever coach we want that this guy feels comfortable with because we want to, do this thing together. I heard Urban Meyer's up for the job, and I think he's interviewed, and I think he's done so much to even as like look for coordinators already, start to talk to coordinators. So, maybe he'll get the job. And that makes sense to me because you got a college coach dealing with a college quarterback at the next level, and they'll figure it out together as far as a hire. But, Eric Bieniemy, to me, I wouldn't shit on that Philadelphia job. I wouldn't.
Well, right now, the Eagles have requested to interview Robert Saleh of the 49ers, Bucks D coordinator Todd Bowles, and Titans offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. And then you remember Gerard Mayo?
Yeah.
He's going to be interviewed too, and he's just a linebackers coach for New England right now. He's 34 years old.
Oh, really?
So they're really going for like a player-centric vibe, it looks like.
Yeah. All right. Well,
it's going to be out of all the teams, I think Philadelphia is going to be the most work, and that is a fan base that is very unforgiving. So Like right now, the Chargers seem to be the best situation to just walk into, where you don't have this huge fan base that's going to get pissed off if you don't win right away. And you have all the weapons already put in there. You just got to be smart enough to know when to call timeouts and how to game manage, and you're going to win. I mean, that's a 10, 11, 12 winning team with the talent they have. Philly, it's like if they go 0-2, the guy's going to be run out of the stadium.
Yeah, well, I mean, also, though, you also have a harder division, though.
You can't build – you're going to want
the
to build
AFC
your own
West
team,
is a much harder division than
the years. It is, yeah, but if you're the guy that can take down the Chiefs at least one of the 2 games, you're going to be a hero. You just won yourself another 2 years on your contract.
Speaking of heroes, you guys have a bona fide hero in Buffalo. I mean, Josh Allen is going to be enshrined in that circle one day, I bet. I bet he will be a person that will have a statue in Buffalo. I mean, you got to, as bad as he looked last year in that playoff game I watched at your house, he looked really, really good this past week, and you guys got to be happy and proud. I was happy for you that you won. We didn't win the bet because, again, they didn't cover. As soon as we have a hard enough time picking winners. Now we're all of a sudden taking the fucking spread. Give me a break. I go, we're idiots. We deserve to fucking lose everything. So we're picking winners, dude. It's the fucking playoffs. We don't know how these games are nuts. I mean, the Browns, they covered the spread in the first fucking 10 seconds of the game. The whole spread was wiped out. It was a 7-point spread. Wiped out in the first fucking play of the game. Now we're playing even. Who saw that coming? No one. We all unanimously said, oh, we felt terrible for them. We felt terrible for Stefanik or whatever that fucking guy's name is. Has to watch the game in his basement like a loser. I mean, they played inspired. They played, badly at times.
Their offense played inspired. Their defense is horrendous, and Kansas City should wipe the floor with them this week. Although they do match up well. If they can run the ball and keep Kansas City off the field. But for Cleveland fans that think all of a sudden this is like, oh, we have a shot at the Super Bowl, you're out of your fucking mind. You got to have a defense. You got to have a defense to win. And they don't have a defense. They don't have an offense that can score fast like a lot of the teams that are left, like 2-play touchdown, 80-yard touchdown. They don't have that. They have a really good run game, but they have no fucking defense. Because Ben Roethlisberger,
how do you say a team with Myles Garrett has no defense, Brenton? I'm not saying they're playing defensively great right now.
500 yards to Ben Roethlisberger.
I understand. But, dude, he had to throw the ball 750 times to do it. He also threw 4 fucking picks. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like you had a lot of turnovers.
They were done after the high snap
of course.
Touchdown. They were done.
Of course, dude. Of course they were.
It wasn't the same Steelers team that we saw for the first half of the season.
Look, dude. I watched.
Have no chance.
I'm telling you right now, we are under no circumstances fucking with that spread. Okay. You
can do what you want with your
Brenton. Brenton, don't be an asshole.
Serious cash.
Do not be an asshole, dude. Do not fuck with the spread. Pick a winner and move on with your life. You are not spread worthy yet.
I'm going under. I'm going spread. I'm making money this week.
Good. You know what? You make your money. You build your pipe dreams. The Alaskan pipeline couldn't fill the fucking dreams you have with all these goddamn picks. You moron. Listen to me, dude. I'm not saying they have a good defense.
I have won more money than you this year.
So bullshit. The last week. The first, you couldn't pick a winner to save your life, Brenton. To save your life. Who won first?
Who's won more? And
me.
What do you want at the end of the day, Lucas?
Times
do you want who wins first, or do you want more?
No, times me. I want consistent paychecks every week. Not a fucking, hey, I'm building a pipe. You want to come look at my dreams? Here's the deal, Brenton. The Browns don't have a great defense, but they have a better defense than played last week. So if the defense can show up a little bit better than they did this week, considering all the fucking COVID people they had and you got your fucking play caller back sitting right on the sideline.
Well,
and the special teams plays as good as they did. Guess what, dude?
It's about having the play caller back. That may actually bite them in the ass.
Oh, Christ.
He's a good coach, but you look at week 17, he was doing this stupid thing where he was just rotating Chubb and Hunt every other series, and you can't do that. You keep Chubb in the fucking ball game and you give him the ball. If they start rotating them, watch for that. If they rotate them, they're not going to win that game. If it's Chubb, they have a decent chance of maybe pulling an upset. But if they start rotating and he tries to get cute, they're not going to win.
Thank you, Coach Biddlecombe. It's like fucking Dan Ordumskley I'm listening to over here. Anyway, yeah, no, I watched all the games. It was so much. 3 games. It was perfect. I like that situation.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of football.
Yeah, the Saints and Bears I barely watched because I kind of figured that was the way it was going to be.
Should have watched it on Nickelodeon.
Is that what it is? What was all the slime
when they were
doing?
scoring a touchdown? There were like slime cannons going off. It was more fun.
Really?
Yeah. They were referencing Nickelodeon characters. They were it was like a wacky, fun thing, and I think this is what kids are going to grow up thinking football is.
It's the fucking playoffs. What do we need? Wacky, fun, fucking.
They were trying to pull in the younger crowd to get the ratings up.
What more does this enterprise need?
But
what more does football need? I mean, how much bigger do they want to get? I understand you market to everyone, but having a channel where you're just going to slime people during the playoffs, give me a fucking break. Give me a break. Let's act like adults for 5 seconds, please, okay? These are men getting paychecks to make a living. Not out there with fucking you slime people in the off season. You don't slime during the playoffs. Ridiculous. I had fucking many things to talk about. Now you've completely disrupted me.
Did you watch the Rams Seahawks game then?
Yes. Why? What do you?
Russell Wilson did not look good.
Well, they fired their offensive coordinator.
Yep.
You sure it's not more than that though?
No, I mean, he looked like an MVP the first couple weeks, but I think with less time and him having to get out of the pocket a little bit, he's not, 4 years ago, Russell Wilson. I think he likes sitting in the pocket and being able to have some time to throw the ball. I don't think he wants to roll out every fucking time.
He was too scared to throw it to Metcalf.
Yeah, because Jalen
Ramsey got in his head and he just shut down from going towards him.
Well, and the one time he did kind of force it to him, it was a pick 6. So, I mean, that was a mess of a game.
Another time when he scrambled and threw it to him, it was a 54 or whatever yard touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, get the ball to your best player. That's why, as much as I hate to say it, I think Tampa Bay, if Sean Payton tries to play cute again, Tampa Bay is going to win the game. Because that's Sean Payton's Achilles heel in the playoffs is he tries to be smarter than everybody and run these trick plays. And why the fuck is Dante Harris, the leading target guy against the Bears? He's your 4th wide receiver. I mean, he pulls the same shit every year where he tries to just use all these gadgets and rotating Breeze out with Hill.
Well, he was coaching against the best defense in the league. So you do have to come up with something. You can't just throw it out there and go, we're going to beat you. They have the best defense for a reason. They come up with schemes to take out the best players on the other team.
But you're not taking out Thomas, Sanders, Murray. Did you see Murray? Why are you bringing in Taysom Hill when Latavius Murray can throw a block, roll over, get up, catch the ball, run over 3 guys and score a touchdown? Why the fuck are you bringing in Taysom Hill?
I don't know, Coach Biddlecombe. I don't know. Maybe because Sean Payton has a fucking feeling and I go with what he thinks. I mean, look, I'm not saying you can second guess him all you want.
Playoffs. He keeps getting knocked out of the playoffs.
Brenton, we're never gonna have a listener from New Orleans if you continue this nonsense. You know what knocked him out of the playoffs was the fucking bad PI call, Brenton. Okay, and I'm not a Saints sympathizer.
Who was the ball thrown to on that bad PI
call?
Oh,
please. It doesn't matter. It could have been thrown to Jesus Christ.
You've never even heard. It was like
it doesn't matter, Brenton.
He
was raped.
Thomas. Maybe he gets that call, or maybe he makes that play because he's not the 5th fucking guy on the depth chart.
Brenton, if you threw my mother out there, it wouldn't have been the same result. It was an assault on the receiver before the ball got there. That's what knocked them out of the playoffs. And I'm not saying they would have won the fucking thing, but I certainly don't think that Sean Payton has cost the Saints many of a playoff run. That's my only point.
I honestly think a Saints fan would disagree with you.
Okay, fine. The last thing I want is Josh Martin on this show, so you can go fuck yourself. It's not happening. So, and I mean, I have a couple other Saints fans that I would prefer to have on before Josh. Let's get Punky on. Yes.
Fun fact, I did meet Sean Payton in the VIP bar at the store a couple years ago. The first person he told me texted him after that pass interference call was Tom Brady, saying that call was bullshit.
Yeah. Until this week, until he needs one of those fucking calls. And then we'll see what the text message says. Go fuck yourself. Do you guys want to do picks first, or do you want to wrap up football, or do you want to just go to The Bachelor and then go back to picks at the end? It's up to you.
Let's do picks.
I mean, The Bachelor, The Bachelor to me will take 5 minutes of just pure vomiting out venom, and then I could be done with it. So I don't know. It's up to you. Because I mean, look, whoever, by whoever I mean Biddlecombe, roped us into this fucking nonsense should be hung. Okay, because I can't take this abuse anymore. I spent 2 hours yesterday in my garage with the door down because I'm so ashamed that people are going to see me watching the show. My neighbors will know that I'm a fucking part of Bachelor Nation. Or worst part, that they're going to want to talk to me about it. And then we'll get into communications about it. So I don't need it. I am in the garage and I'm watching this show. I'm watching fucking Homeboy and you know, look, it's got everything. It's got everything you need. Just when you think you're like, I'm turning it off, I can fast forward through it. You get a Victoria sighting. This woman is out of her mind. This woman, Queen Victoria. She's
no way
honest.
it's real, right?
It's real.
She's telling her, no, you dial it up. You dial it up to 10, honey.
Well, either way,
get your man. You're a queen. You go get your man.
It's look. I'm sure they are feeding her whatever whatever she needs to go out there and act this way. If she is an actress, she is the best actress I have ever encountered in my life, including Meryl Streep, Glenn Close, you know, Carol Burnett, all of them. She's the best actress comedically ever because the persona that she's putting out there is not of like a real person, but she's keeping it. She's not laughing. She's completely grounded in her assumption that she is. In fact, she keeps saying, I'm literally royalty. Where are you? Has anyone documented where she's actually, does she actually claim to be from royal descension?
It's a bold claim.
Answer me, Brenton.
I mean, look, I get ads on Facebook where you can buy a small plot of land in Scotland and become a lord. So maybe she's done that a couple dozen times.
But that's not royalty. That's just a title.
She says she's royalty, and like
royalty has to be like in your blood. Don't you have to be born? You can't like. I mean, I guess you can marry into it, but she's clearly not married. What they did was very smart. They because I think Mary Lynn is also her roommate is a little crazy too. So they were like, well, these two are the craziest. We'll put them together in the same room. Immediately, this girl's out. Queen Victoria's like, I can't live with this girl. Now she's sleeping on a couch. Now, let me tell you something. I don't think many royalties would be sleeping on a fucking couch and be completely fine with that. She's really just queen of her Silver Lake apartment.
She's queen of Studio City, I think. That's what she is. First of all, who wants this fucking girl on the couch? You know, it's like this place is probably everyone's got their own bedrooms or whatever. And then you wake up in the morning, you come out, you want to have coffee, and then you can't even turn the TV on and sit there and watch TV because the fucking girl's sleeping on the couch. I mean, what is this? You know, a fucking tenement? Is this a youth hostel? Go to your room. How do these women not have their own rooms, by the way? Isn't there a pandemic going on? How do they not have their own rooms? I mean, I know you want to get them together to see a little turmoil, but get them their own rooms. Queen Victoria's sleeping on the couch. Then they went to this stupid fucking. They split up the groups and onto dates. He went on a date with a helicopter, on a plane with one girl. He went on a fucking the little moped thing with another girl. And then finally they had the one where they went out to the woods in wedding dresses after they took pictures. By the way, this photographer, where did this photographer come from? Can someone pull up a picture of the did this guy blow your minds too?
Yeah. And then we've been watching, this is our third season, right? We've been watching for 3 seasons, and Chris Harrison introduces him as the world famous bachelor photographer. We've
Yeah.
never seen this fucking guy.
Look, maybe he's made
Where was
appearances
this guy?
before.
This guy could have been.
This guy needs to be around all the
Yeah.
fucking time.
He needs
this
his own
guy-
show.
First of all, I didn't think he was a real person, and then I'm like, oh, I thought this was part of, because he was wearing a fur coat, which didn't even look like fur. It looked like Braveheart. It looked like they put together. Yeah, look at that thing. Look at that fucking jacket. It looks like, I mean, what is that?
He's like
Peacock?
7 characters.
He's the
mashed into a
photographer?
person. He's
That guy is the photographer, the world famous photographer. And they bring this guy in, like, I mean, he's a ball of energy. He's wearing that pink tuxedo and the Braveheart jacket over the top of it. I thought he was part of, because they were in the woods. I'm like, oh, this is him being woodsy.
He's trying to
And
blend
maybe
in.
it was. I mean, yes, but I mean, I what is that jacket? If anyone that listens to this podcast knows what that jacket is made of, to me it looks like peacock, and I'm not kidding you. Do those look like plumes? Like,
No, to me it looks like the like shaggy rug that you put in a bathroom mat.
It does kind of look like a female.
Oh, you mean
female
like a-
peacocks
like a-
are brown like that. So maybe it is a peacock.
yeah,
coat.
like I figure, I'm not talking about like peacock with
Or a
like,
bird
I
of
figure
some
when you
sort.
kill a peacock, right, and you pull their feathers off, don't the feathers like just turn brown? Then they're not alive anymore. I figured,
Well,
right? So then
only
when
the
you do,
male,
like, a
only
brown
male,
jacket-
only male peacocks have the
It's
colors.
they're not a fucking tree, Steve.
What?
It's not how it works.
Also, only male
How do you
peacocks
know?
have colors.
My parents have peacock feathers, and the
What?
male ones they stay the same color. They don't
Yeah.
fucking dye like a leaf or a
Maybe.
tree.
Okay,
my
great.
sister
Well,
has-
No,
again.
that's not how that works. They don't.
My
they don't
sister
just
has
lose
wild
their color
peacocks.
over time.
My sister has wild peacocks in her
It's a
neighborhood
feather.
in Florida. There's just
I
like
have
wild
them too,
peacocks
and they're
running around.
scary as fuck. I hate them. They're
They're huge.
Our neighborhood too. They're humongous, and they sit on top of cars and shit. And you try to
Oh
take
my
a walk
god, does
past-
that not just like dent your roof?
Yeah, you're like, I'm not gonna fucking walk past you, you scary fucking tremendous bird. But I figured when you pull the leaves, the feathers off, they die. Look, I'm
No,
not
they don't
smart. I
die.
told you
They're
that
not-
earlier.
They're not a living thing.
It's like
It's
if you pull
hair.
your hair
Neither
out,
are
it
you.
doesn't change colors.
You're not a living thing, Brenton. Anyway, this
Shots
guy
fired.
added. This guy added a lot of energy. These girls were beating each other up, and I mean, I don't even understand what the rules of that whole challenge were. Like, you got to get my heart and your. I get it's like capture the flag, but like, was it really like you could beat the fuck out of someone? They beat each other. Like, a couple of the girls were like in chokeholds, and the other ones didn't seem like they were really getting involved too much. It was completely ridiculous. Then they go back to this fucking, the one girl wins. They all go back. They clean themselves up. They have a big whores date with him. And then they, one by one, he pulls them away. He did pick my girl, right? And gave her the rose, the black lawyer girl from North Carolina, right?
Her conversation with him was hilarious.
It was great about Jesus. She went right to Jesus and he was like, yes. He's like, I love you and I
A
love
bold place to
Jesus.
start.
Yes. And he goes, I don't lead with my Christianity very often, but I feel very comfortable doing it with you. And great. They can do it together. But, the other girl he picked was a hot little white girl and, who probably doesn't give a fuck about Jesus. And so, he's got his hands in a lot of different pots right now. I can't really tell 100% where, but then you know what? We get back to the house. They start to give out the roses and they stop some girl passes out in the rose ceremony. I think she already got a rose, right? She was a girl. She wasn't even like nervous. She wasn't going to get a rose. All of a sudden she just falls to the ground. They come over. Let's get the medic, blah, 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 blah. And then they end the fucking show. To be continued. We don't even see who gets eliminated this week. The whole week was for nothing. I watched this guy fly around on a helicopter, RVs, no accidents. They didn't flip over. They didn't get fucking shot at. And now they're in the woods. They're falling around. Like no boobs, no tit slips, nothing to hold my attention.
Do you think they're going to eliminate 2 next week?
They better eliminate everyone. And by the way, I think is this their fucking version of like, ooh, is this a COVID scare on the set? Like, is that the cliffhanger?
I don't think passing out is a symptom of COVID.
This bitch hasn't eaten in 5 days, I bet. That's probably why she passed out. All she's consumed is alcohol since she's been there. She sees everybody else. They're all have to get in bathing suits in October in LA, which isn't easy. And they're freezing their asses off. She probably hasn't eaten in fucking 5 days. That's why she passed out. But because because they can't give her a cracker and an orange juice and stand her back on her fucking high heels, I got to wait another week to find out who's kicked off?
Yeah.
And
maybe it was all planned. Maybe she faked it so that they could string you along for an extra week.
Emma, if she faked that fucking, well, she's
what if
not
I
that
just
good.
pass out right now? Would you guys just end the podcast?
No,
ending,
we continue on. I like. Can anyone still hear us? We've come too far. We're not starting over. We're already an hour plus into this fucking thing. I'm not starting over. She hit her head. Is there blood? We're good. Oh, but all our fans are like, oh my God, I'd fuck Emma's dead head. Oh, Emma's dead head is so hot. I want to eat Emma's dead head.
You're probably not far off either.
Oh my God, she was so hot when she was laying there dead. Oh God.
God.
Oh. By the way, I'll be in St. Louis next week if anyone's around. If there's any living human beings in St. Louis. I'll be at the Helium Comedy Club next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's the normal schedule. 1 show Thursday, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday. It's the normal 8 and 10s. I think they must not have a fucking curfew there, or I don't know what's going on there. But I'll be there doing shows next weekend.
Selling merch, right? You're going to be selling Emma's
I will not.
clippings.
I'm
for every show.
Oh, yeah. I'm selling.
So, dudes, come on out. Get your toenails.
Whatever she's getting a haircut this week.
Yeah.
She's got some old clothes she's going to throw away.
I actually am getting a haircut in like 2 hours. So, I'll send it your way.
That's amazing. Look at that, dude. Look at that. Guys, big merch coming out your way. Your Emma merch coming your way.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, I'll be doing stand-up next week if I can remember how to fucking do it. I mean, it's still fun, but hopefully people come. A lot of people are scared. I get it. I'm scared. I don't know why I'm going. I don't know why. I say yes to these things, and I don't even know. I feel weird about going, and I feel weird when I'm there. But then it's fun to be doing stand-up. I gotta eat something different before this podcast.
And then you have for breakfast?
A couple I had 2 bananas and a little piece of toast with some peanut butter. But
that sounds pretty tame.
It does seem pretty tame.
Yeah, what are you doing? That was like a sausage burp.
I know.
It's like bratwurst at 8 in the morning.
I did have sausage last night though for dinner, so maybe that was it. It was leftover sausage in honor of Jeff Scott. Just kidding. Because he was gay and he whatever. It doesn't matter. This is a comedy podcast. Let's pick some winners for next week, shall we?
All right. Okay, so we got 4 games on the slate. And it sounds like you're just picking 4 games, staying on the money line. You're not going to get cute and pick extra stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly right, Brenton. It's called the winning solution.
That'll make it easy. So, Steve, Rams Packers.
Are you ready for this? The Packers will win. I don't even give a fuck what the spread is. I'm telling you what they'll win by. Ready for this? 4 points. 4
then you would be on the Rams. You would be on the Rams. It's 6.5.
I'm taking the Packers to win the game.
You're not hearing me. I get that. You're taking them on the money line, but if you're saying that they win by 4 points, then you're on the Rams for the spread.
I don't know that. I know that they'll win the game.
No, I'm
and
telling
I want
you
to
that.
bet on the things that I know.
I know. I'm putting it on the money line for you. I'm just letting you know that by saying 4 points, you're on the Rams.
Great. Thank you so much for your fucking useless information.
Ravens Bills.
Can we do that game last?
Okay. Browns Chiefs.
Okay. Everything in my soul and gut and heart makes me want to take the Browns. Even more knowing how much your love for the fucking Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm not saying...
I have no love for them. I broke it down.
You were sucking their dick 20 minutes ago, Brendan. All of them. You lined everyone up. Just like Mahomes in that commercial, all getting the haircut. You were just blowing every one of them. Listen to me. I want to take them, but my brain knows better. My brain knows that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win the game. My brain knows that.
So then why take the 30 seconds to insult me when you're just going to agree?
Because
What are you doing?
I don't think they win by even remotely close by 10 points. I don't think they win.
It's a 10-point spread.
Uh-huh.
It could be a close game because breaking down the numbers, the Chiefs are 31st against the rush, and the Browns are
they can rush the fucking
best
football.
rushing offense.
Hello.
They can run.
And if something happens weird in the beginning, if something happens weird in the beginning and they get a defensive touchdown or Mahomes throws a pick or something like that, and next thing you know, it's 17-10 Browns, well, guess what? They could spend the second half rushing the football, right? Killing the clock. If Mahomes ain't on the field, they're not going to win the game. You want those 7-10-minute drives where you just go hunt, 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 then you bring in Chubb. Hunt, hunt, hunt. You bring in Chubb, and just jam it down their fucking throats. Have Baker scamper or throw a screen pass on third down to get a first down. Shit like that. Eat the clock up, stay in bounds. And I could see it happening.
Yeah. If they get a couple 8-minute drives, it's over.
Yeah. So that's why I think it could be well within 10 points. Next.
Buccaneers Saints.
Tom Brady's going to go to the NFC Championship game, everyone.
Wow.
Tampa Bay is going to beat the Saints at home. And they beat them twice during the regular season, right? Saints beat them twice. Do you know how hard it is to beat the same team 3 times in the season? It's very, very hard thing to do.
Hasn't happened yet.
Very hard thing to do.
Seahawks couldn't do it, and the Steelers couldn't do it. So
now, if there was a crowd and there was an advantage, a New Orleans home field advantage, I might think differently. But I got a feeling.
I think they have a little bit.
It's not enough. It's not going to be what it normally would be. So I'm taking I'm taking the Tampa Bay. As much as I don't want to, as much as it kills me because the Ligny's going to be happy, and I don't like making him happy, and I don't like Tampa per se, but I think they're going to win the football game. And then last but not least, you've got the Bills and the Ravens. Now, again, I'm telling you guys, you've got something special here in Josh Allen, and I do think you're going to win a Super Bowl. But I just don't think it's going to be this year. I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to beat the Bills, dude. At Buffalo, in the snow. I think you're going to have Lamar Jackson running. I hope that the Bills can set the edge, but I have a feeling it's going to be an issue. I think he's going to rush for over 100 yards. He's going to throw for 2 touchdowns, and the Bills will win by the Ravens will win by 3 points. I'm so sorry, guys. It pains me to have to make that prediction. It just does. But I think in my mind, that's what my mind says. In my mind, that's what it says. My heart doesn't say that, but my mind says it. And I know it's not a popular opinion, but that's not what we're here for. I mean, I'm looking at Lucas and I want to cry right now.
At the end of the day, we're here to win Lucas money.
I want to cry looking at Lucas.
This isn't the ticket to do it, but that's what the goal is.
That's what I'm saying. And look, again, these are the playoffs, guys. These are the 4 best teams in the AFC and the NFC. These are not easy games to call. They are not going to be – I'm not saying one team is infinitely better than the other. They're going to be close, but I think that Baltimore is going to rush it down the Bills' throat. And I think that Bills defense that tries hard to stop the run, that couldn't do it for those couple weeks in the middle of the season, I think that's going to rear its ugly head again. And I think Josh Allen will play great. I don't think he cost you the game at all. I don't think it's going to be anything on the offensive side. I just think it's going to be Lamar Jackson's game. And that's my thought. I love you both. I love you more, Lucas, though. So, and that's that.
So Steve is on the Packers, the Chiefs, the Buccaneers, and the Ravens. His $25 is going to win Lucas $180.03.
Yeah.
Hope you're proud of
yourself. What are you going to – if you don't want it, you can Venmo me.
Okay, so let's get down to the brass tacks here. Here's what's going to happen. The Rams are going into Green Bay and they're upsetting the Packers. Straight up. That defense is playing on another level, and since the last part of the season, they are the number one defense in football. That is how they will win this game. They're going to take down Rodgers, just like Tampa Bay. When they got to him in that game earlier in the season, he's going to struggle. And Jalen Ramsey's going to be on Devontae Adams. He's still going to get a touchdown, but the Rams are ultimately going to win this game and run Cam Akers down their throat because they can't.
Who plays quarterback for the Rams? Who plays quarterback for the Rams?
They're going to hand the ball to Cam Akers.
Great. What a great analysis. Doesn't matter who the quarterback for the team I say is going to win.
It's going to be Jared Goff.
Just one half of the game. No
Jared
problem.
Goff is going to play.
What
Cam
brilliant
Akers
analysis.
Keep
breaking it down for us. Thank you.
Okay. The Bills are going to win this football game because the Bills, Lamar Jackson's going to get his, but they're going to force him. They're going to load the box and force him to throw, and he's going to make a couple of mistakes. And that defense is not as sharp as they have been in the past. Josh Allen is going to be very hard to stop with all of his weapons. They lost Zach Moss, but Singletary's going to step up, and the Bills are going to cover the -2 and win by a field goal, maybe a touchdown. I'm also going to take the over in that game, 50.5.
Aww.
The Bills move on. The Browns, Chiefs are going to blow them out. I'm sorry. It's just going to happen. The Browns suck. They're not a great team. They haven't been a great team all year. They haven't really played anybody. They've gotten to play the Steelers 3 times, who obviously weren't that great either. They had a great moment last week. They all feel good about themselves. And then Ohio State brought them back down. All the fans in Ohio, they got brought back down to reality on Monday that we are a city and a state of losers, and we're not winning the Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield. I'm taking the Chiefs to cover the -10.
And say goodbye to anyone that we had fan-wise in Cleveland.
Where Jeff Scott's from.
You know, where the losers will live.
Hey, I grew up there. I know their fan base. That my Facebook feed during that Steelers game was insane. You would have thought that and I'm happy for them. It was their first playoff win too. The Bills and the Browns, they've never won a playoff game in the same year in the history of football. It's just never happened. So they felt as good as I did. It's been 25 years for them too. I'm happy for them. But now we're back in reality where the Chiefs are the team that they had to play on the road. You're talking about Andy Reid, 2 weeks to prepare. Everyone's rested. Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback in football right now.
Okay.
But I am going to take the under on that game, 57. It's too high because the Browns are going to try to stay in the game. They're going to run. Going to have less plays, less points. 57 is way too fucking high. The Bucks and the Saints, I'm going to take the Saints on the money line. I don't think Tom Brady's got it. I think the Saints defense is good enough to get to him. And Bree's offense is a little bit better than the football team's offense. So I like them on the money line. And I'm also going to go with the under. That's 2 very good defenses. And the over-under is 51.5, which is really, really high and stupid. I don't know why they're doing that. So I am on the Rams. I'm on the Bills -2. The over in the Bills-Ravens. I'm on the Chiefs -10, the Browns and the Chiefs going under 57, the Saints on the money line, and the Bucks and the Saints going under 51.5. My $25 is going to bring in $3,595.06.
And I'll eat your ass. If all those things happen, I will eat your ass on next week's podcast.
Get it on tape, Emma.
Everyone just heard that?
Timestamp.
I don't know how you feel. I'll get COVID tested. We'll get your butthole COVID tested. Whatever we got to do. Because, I mean, the pipe that you have to build for the dreams that you just fucking spewed out is tremendous, dude. Great. Lucas, I'm so sorry, dude. I'm so sorry. Here's why I'm sorry. Because this is your sounding board. This is who you go to for all your bills information and back and forth. And this fucking guy is who you have to rely on. Number one. Number two, I mean, I see you light up with anticipation when he says all his picks and you're like, oh, this could happen. I could see that happening. And then the number at the end sounds like $3,000. Holy shit. But it ain't happening. You know it's not happening. I know it's not happening. I want you to do something. I want you to buy a season ticket package if you can to the Buffalo or the nicest. With the $186 that I'm going to win you this week, right? I want you to buy tickets to your favorite Bills game that you can go to next year with that 180 and celebrate what next year probably the Super Bowl championship season that you're going to have for the Bills. But when we give you,
Steve is offering you a hot dog and parking.
no, $186. You could buy one. He's buying one ticket for himself. He doesn't have to buy a ticket for me or you. This is in celebration of.
Find me a stadium that's selling tickets for less than $200. There are not many teams left that do that. It is very fucking hard to find cheap tickets.
I rarely pay. I usually just have someone invite me. So I don't really know.
Yeah, we're not actors, Steve. We don't have stuff handed to us.
What?
We're blue collar Buffalo boys.
I handed you $1 million by starting this podcast.
Oh, what?
I've handed you a life.
You set my lineup?
Don't tell me what I've handed you. Don't even start bringing that up. We don't want to get back into that. Okay?
You downloaded the app and put money in my account and then put my lineup in?
Cassie wouldn't be there if it wasn't for me. The condo wouldn't be there. Rogue would have left you years ago.
We bought it before we won the money.
Guys, that's the podcast for this week. I don't want to sit here and I can't. I have things to do for the rest of my day. I can't have trivial conversations like this continue. I have high blood pressure and quite honestly,
get that tongue ready to eat my ass.
I'm a stroke risk.
Ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, please
stay off that sausage diet.
Tell someone else about this podcast if you feel like you have to. Even if you're like, look, don't ever listen to this thing. This should be. If you want to use it as a trial, at least tell the people to rate and subscribe. Okay, please. We need other listeners. But I feel like I'm talking to the wall here. Anyone that's not, I mean, look, even if you're just interested in Emma, tell someone else. Go
Yeah,
visit come on through. We need it. All right. We love you guys. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you all next week.